Yo, what's up, people? It's your boy. I'm Chris the Dom One, and I am Brock with another video. You know what you got to do: rate, comment, subscribe. Please hit the notification bell so to let you know when my next video or live stream goes down. Follow me on Twitter. I don't tweet a lot, but when I do tweet, it's very informative, very informational. Okay. Now, with further ado, let's get into today's topic. And before I break down today's topic, this is like a response video. This is not a diss video. This is not a beef video. Oh, I have issues with this content provider type of video. This is a response to a guy, and I subscribe to his channel, watch his content, Clean Prince Gaming, and he had a video and he uploaded it. I believe it was yesterday, talking about the YouTube system, the YouTube game. And basically, he got into the video talking about he's having issues with YouTube, as well as a lot of us in the YouTube community when you talk about content providers, okay? And I feel like there's a difference between content providers and, people who just subscribe to these channels and get their enjoyment and their entertainment. And I feel like, the people that are watching these videos, they may not have those same type of issues with YouTube like the content providers do on YouTube. Okay, so basically, he was talking about how, he had a video and he had some music in this video. Okay, and let me change the ambiance of this. Hold up. He had a video, and I think that's a little bit better. He had a video, and basically the video got flagged, or the video, there was there was a sample in the video that was not his, and it was coming from an artist, and he talked about how he established a communication with this artist, and he asked the artist, could he use his song in one of his videos. And of course the artist accepted and said, yeah, because that's free publicity. Okay, free publicity. Okay, what artist that's trying to get into the music business, okay, that's going to say no to that? Okay, you don't have to pay for it. It's free publicity. Okay, particularly if you're allowing someone to use your song, and they have a huge following on YouTube, Instagram, whatever the case may be. Okay, so he said, okay, he used the song, and there was a sample in the song that was not cleared by the artist, and that's typical with with small time artists, that really don't have a huge following, that's not tied to a label, okay, that's not that's not they're in the music industry, but they're not in the place where they're blowing up in the music industry. They're trying to get in the music industry to blow up. Okay, so it was obviously a sound that was sampled that he used in his song that was not cleared. When you're dealing with music, and I'm just gonna give y'all a brief story. Kanye West talked about how he was doing an album for a singer, and I forgot the singer's name. She's married to a basketball star, Iman Shumpert, and I forgot the lady. I apologize. I apologize in advance. Kanye was talking about a story where he was producing her album, and one of the reasons why the album was delayed, and one of the reasons why when the album finally made it, there were certain songs they had to take out of the album, and there were certain samples that they was going to use for some of the songs that they had to take out because they didn't have clearance. Okay, and what is clearance, for all those who understand, particularly in music, when you sample someone else's vocals or instrumentals, or even sound. There are certain sounds that you sample that if you don't have clearance, okay, in the music world, if you don't have clearance, then sometimes it makes it hard for you to get that song out to the masses. Okay, particularly if you have a song that heavily uses that sample. Okay, it's not like the '80s where sampling was running roughshod. You could pretty much sample anybody and wouldn't have to worry about legal, something happening to you legally. Okay, so Clean Prince Gaming talked about this particular artist, and he said he had he talked to him. He said it was okay to use his song, and he used his song on a couple of his videos, and now the people who own that particular sample are literally just taking money from his highly requested videos. And then he said what makes matters worse, they don't have an issue with the other videos that may not make a lot of views, that may not get a lot of views. They're basically going after the videos that are popular on his channel. Okay, and he had issues with that. Okay, and that typically happens in the music industry, and a lot of people confuse how they move in the music industry on how they move on YouTube. And they say, well, we have fair use here on YouTube. But in the music industry, it is very hard to sample something and not only get clearance for it, but to then turn around, not only get clearance for it, but who's going to own who's going to get the royalties of the song. And I remember someone had a conversation about when Diddy wanted to do Missing You, and they sampled one of Sting's hits, Every Step You Take, Every Breath You Make, Every Move You Make, however the song goes. A lot of people don't understand Sting owns the majority of those royalties to Missing You, not Puff Daddy, Sting. And when they came to Sting asking him it was okay to use his to sample his song, he said, quote, "Man, this is gonna put my grandkids through college." Okay, so even Sting owned the majority of that hit Puff Daddy came out with. It was a tribute to Notorious B.I.G. But but Diddy, as well as everyone else, understood that that's how they term it, negotiation. Particularly if you want to use a sample and you want to import it in your song, and it's going to be a huge hit. Those are some of the things you're going to have to deal with to get the song out. And people get the music industry, the rules and regulations to the music industry, confused with the rules and regulations with YouTube. Now, there's a higher issue with YouTube, okay, beyond the sampling and all that. And the problem with a lot of people who have a huge following on YouTube, they get tons of views. Okay, they're always on the suggestion column. Okay, and then people start saying, "Hey, man, I can make YouTube a full-time career. I can literally make money off of doing YouTube videos." And there's a gift and a curse to that. Okay, had to turn my AC on. It's getting kind of hot in here. And the issue with what a lot of people don't understand about YouTube is YouTube, they play hardball because they control the service. Okay, even though you create the account on YouTube, even though you upload the content for YouTube, okay, YouTube knows that you need them. They don't need you. Okay, so that's why I always preach to content providers. We have a renter's mentality when we should have an ownership mentality when you're talking about content providers, okay? We have to see past the subscribers that we get on our YouTube channels. We have to look past when it comes to views, the amount of views we get on our YouTube channels. We got to look past the likes we get on our YouTube and popular and being popular on YouTube, because all we're doing as content providers is blowing up YouTube. We're not blowing up ourselves, because you hear tons of stories of content providers who want to branch out and do other things. Like, they're blowing up on YouTube, but then they want to start uploading some content on their own website. And then they try to get the YouTube subscribers to check their content out on their websites or on their blogs, okay? And a lot of subscribers on YouTube, they're comfortable at the fact of being entertained on YouTube. They're not going to go anyplace else. I don't care how hardcore your subscribers are on YouTube. They're not going to go where you go, okay? And that's the problem with content providers on YouTube. It's not like music, okay? Chris Brown, his fan base will not only support him on his music, but then they will also support him on his clothing line. They will also support him, like if he's on a feature television show. They will also support him if he's in a movie, has a movie role. In the music industry, if you're successful in it, your fan base are going to follow you. Same way as far as an actor or an actress. Wherever you go, your fan base is going to follow you. But if you're successful on YouTube, your fan base is not going to follow you nor support you on other outlets outside of YouTube. And the only way they're going to support you on those other endeavors outside of YouTube, if you upload that content on YouTube. They're not going anywhere, because as soon as you stop making videos on YouTube, they're just going to get their entertainment elsewhere with another content provider on YouTube. It's a recyclable system. YouTube don't depend on their stars, who y'all deem as stars. Jake Paul, whatever his name is, KS1, those are recyclable content providers. And let's just say hypothetically they leave YouTube. YouTube know going in that they have other content providers that will replace them, and they will continue to do their business, because we as content providers don't control our own destiny on YouTube. We're not affiliated with YouTube. YouTube really don't sponsor us that way. We don't have a contract with YouTube. So YouTube really don't have to, YouTube really do not have to please us like in other industries. If you are a model, if you're in the modeling agency and you are a success or an upcoming model or a successful model, that industry will cater to you. If you are in music and you are a successful artist in the music industry will cater to you, okay? Because by them helping you, you in turn help them. Okay, but in YouTube, it's a recyclable system. Their mentality is, speaking on YouTube's behalf, is that we can just plug and fill any content provider, and we'll still have those same numbers. Not to mention the fact YouTube is hemorrhaging sponsors, ad sponsors. They used to have Coca-Cola, United Airlines, Walmart, Target, all the big name corporations would advertise their ads on YouTube. Okay, but 2 or 3 years ago, now YouTube is losing those big time corporations. Okay, so now YouTube looks elsewhere, and when you lose those big time corporations, you lose the money, you lose the bag. YouTube is still making money, but they're not making money like they was making 5 years ago or 10 years ago. And to Clean Prince, the Clean Prince Gaming, I like him. This ain't no diss video. This ain't no he's wrong video. I'm just telling you the system, how the YouTube system is set up. It's virtually impossible to eat on YouTube. Because see, eventually you start, you get the huge numbers, you get the subscribers, you get big, you start making money. And then once you reach your apex, they move on to the next star. A lot of people say YouTube blackball a lot because they have been going in on a lot of channels. First, it used to be, people that, like cooking slash, reviewing different types of fast food. They got YouTube pretty much destroyed a lot of those successful channels that was doing that stuff. The fitness community, they used to go into the fitness. Now, you can still get the numbers, you can still get the subscribers, but you're not making a lot of money in the fitness community on YouTube. Okay, then they got into the music. They showed up, put the hammer down on that. Then gaming, a lot of these categories, and people that speak on politics or religious or religious issues, they put the hammer on those type of channels like Phil DeFranco. Okay, so YouTube has pretty much purged. It's been on this purge, sort of say, on a lot of content providers on what they do. The prank, remember the prank thing used to be a big time thing on YouTube. Now, when is the last time you seen a prank video? It's been a while, right? Okay, now, they still have those older prank videos, but a lot of people are not doing that type of content because, because the money's just not there. The money is pretty much dried up and evaporated. Okay, so YouTube is making it virtually impossible for you to have a full-time career here. It's okay to dabble in YouTube if you got things to say and you want to say it into an audience. That's one thing. But for anyone to sit up here and say you can make a career off YouTube, it's not going to work. You're not going to you're not going to have a 10 plus YouTube career making great money on YouTube. Now, if you want to do YouTube full time, you have to think of it as a short-term investment. It's not going to be a long-term investment. You're not going to, because eventually one or two things are going to happen to you. Either YouTube is going to, and with their the way how they do business, as far as their rules and regulations, it's all to the advantage of YouTube, not to the advantage of the content providers. Okay, and a lot of people, and I feel like we as content providers, we need to, if you're a content provider on YouTube, you should be looking at the bigger goal, and the bigger game is to control your own destiny. That's why, instead of depending on YouTube, you need to consider yourself as a brand and market your brand and control your own faith with that brand. Not waiting on what YouTube is going to do down the road. Because the way how the rules are set in place, YouTube controls all the variables as far as content providers being successful on YouTube. And Clean Prince Gaming had his rant video, sort of say, let me turn the AC back on. Angry Joe issued a bunch of videos about YouTube and their practices. Review Tech USA did likewise. You know, a lot of these channels, you know, have done these types of videos, okay? But until the content providers unite and form, instead of, you know, being competitive with one another, you know, do as far as doing collaborations, be united on the front of ultimately changing. No one content provider is going to dictate to YouTube, you need to change your practices on how you treat your content providers. It's going to take the majority of us to do that, okay? And you know, I feel like Clean Prince Gaming is a large channel, in my opinion, okay? But if you want to look at, well, you know, if you know, there's a lot of channels out there that do over 1 million views, okay? I feel like they have the clout, they have the juice, okay? You know, Clean Prince Gaming, he probably do 30K a video, okay? And you may think that's small potatoes, but at the same time, if you look at the majority of us, the majority rules, if we all are in unison, and we need to start looking at ourselves as owning our brand, controlling our faith, instead of look, because right now YouTube, and I did a tweet on this. YouTube, if you're a content provider and you want to have a career on YouTube, that's pretty much like renting an apartment in Wisconsin, complaining about why they don't have tanning beds. Okay? You know, that's like complaining, like you renting an apartment, but you're complaining that it doesn't, your apartment is not at the same level as some houses like down the street. We need to start looking at owning instead of renting. We're renting on YouTube. We're renting on YouTube. We're not own. We don't own. We don't have a stake in YouTube. Our voices don't mean a hill of beans to YouTube. And that's the bigger picture of it all. And it's only going to get worse. It's not going to get better. It's going to get worse. What y'all think down the road what YouTube is going to do? If you don't like what YouTube is doing now, you need to see what YouTube is going to be doing in the next couple of years. You know, they're going to be downsizing. What you think, you know, what you think, the diabolical plan into that? When you downsize, what you mean? What you think? What's going to happen with downsizing? It's going to be worse as far as the rules and regulations of YouTube. So that's all I got to say on the topic. I might, you know, briefly talk about the topic on my podcast. I'm Chris the Down One Podcast on iTunes. Go check that out. But I kind of wanted to do this video, and you know, my audience, you guys watch the re-air of this, okay? So, you know, I knew a lot of people were not going to be in this live. I wasn't going to get anybody on the live stream part, okay? Because I did it a little bit too late, but it's still early in a lot of time zones. So I want you guys to, you know, check out the video. Tell me what you think. Comment in the comment section pertaining this particular topic, okay? And that's, you know, I feel Clean Prince Gaming's, I feel his pain, okay? You know, at the end of the day, you know, everybody deserves their fair share and their fair due when they work hard. I know a lot of people think making videos is easy. All you got to do, but, you know, you have to, you know, and he puts a lot of love, time, and effort in these videos. You know, I'm pretty sure the majority of his videos, they're not being done in no 40-minute span. Okay, so he's probably putting hours, days, and weeks behind these videos, and you want to be validated, you want your recognition, and you want to ultimately what? get paid for your work. And I understand where he's coming from, but the way how the system's set on YouTube, that nobody is going to get ahead of YouTube as when you look at us as content providers. That's all I gotta say. Deuces. I